welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Titi Omole and we'll be reading from my book, Listen Laz and the Secret Codes of the Magnificent Book. This is the second episode. If you don't have your book yet, you could get a copy from Amazon.co.uk. It's available paperback or in Kindle. So yeah, it may be good if you can just grab your copy so that we can all enjoy the reading together. Okay, so come along with me. We're continuing from where we stopped the last time, and we're reading from the first story, which is You Can Do It. And we're continuing. So join me. So Laz went on to gather the torn pieces of the certificates and put them together just like a puzzle. He asked Sam to pass him the sticky tape so that he could stick pieces of the certificate together. But as Sam reached out hurriedly to pass it over to Laz, he clumsily knocked a bottle of glitters over, which sprayed across the room like fairy dust. Oops, again. I really must leave your room now before I do something worse, Sam said, as he went for the door with his shoulders dropped and his head bowed low. I've only spent a few minutes in your room and it's a shambles already. I came here to have fun, not to be a nuisance to you. What is wrong with me? Thought Sam. Why can't I ever get things right? All right. How about if we go down to the games room and play some games together? Laz suggested, trying to put the smile back on his cousin's face. Cool, sounds like a brilliant idea to me, Sam replied as he raced Laz down the stairs like a cheetah into the games room. Laz remembered clearly how Sam was absolutely shocked and thrilled at the same time to see that his shelves were filled with every type of games imaginable. Awesome! You've got Xbox, PlayStation, he exclaimed with a spring in his steps. I could spend all day here and never get bored. That's not going to happen in this house, I'm afraid, because Mom sent me out of this room after an hour to do my homework, Laz replied, sad once again to trample on his cousin's excitement. Really? Sam asked, looking puzzled. Yes, really, Laz nodded, looking straight into Sam's eyes without a hint of doubt. Suddenly aware of the time limit, the boys hurriedly grabbed a console, each as if it were the last day on Earth, to play their favorite car racing game. While they were playing, Laz noticed that each time Sam won a round of the game, he did a backflip and somersaulted through the air like an acrobat. That's amazing. Where did you learn to do that? Laz asked in astonishment as his friend came tumbling back to earth. I didn't learn it from anyone, I just do it, Sam replied with a shrug of his shoulders. Laz shook his head and explained to Sam that actually God has given you every special gift and we only need to practice in order to make them better. Once you have discovered your special gift, all you need to do is practice, practice, and practice, he said, pleased to be the one who had discovered his cousin's talent. Seriously? I think you should practice more, he said. Maybe one day you might win an award for it, Laz suggested genuinely. Oh, Laz, you make it look so easy and fun. But I know that not everyone can do that so easily, Laz said to Sam. But Sam was not convinced that a lot of practice could win him an award. Although he thought he would like to earn a lot of certificates like his cousin's Laz, he really didn't believe he was good enough to do so. This made Sam think of some of his friends at school who were really talented but never got an award, which was really what made him feel down. He imagined himself being crowned a champion, but his heart sank as he realized it could only be a dream, not a reality. I'm sure I don't stand a chance of winning at all, Sam replied, shaking his head in disbelief. medals, and trophies are for geniuses like you, Laz. Laz took a moment before replying as he began to remember how disappointed he used to be with his poor grades in maths, until his mom showed him some cool quotes in the great book that really encouraged him to try harder and practice. Maybe I can use the same quote to help Sam as well, he thought. Sam looked at Laz in confusion as his friend brought out a book from the shelf. I'm not a genius, Sam. This great book of cool quotes, which you know as the Bible, has helped me, he explained. Sam looked at the book and said, Hold on, Laz. What has the Bible got to do with practicing and studying? Laz explained to him that because he learned to apply the cool codes to his studying, he got his best results. I think you need to see this illustration. They're fantastic, lovely illustration. So we continue. Laz said, Here's a cool one, it says, and I'm taking this one from Matthew 7, verse 7. And it says, Ask and it will be given unto you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. Laz explained how he sometimes used this code when praying at home before his exams. He did this by asking for God's help, just for him to remember all that he had read. But he added, Don't forget I only ask God to help me after studying and practicing. So make sure that you read and you study and you practice. Sam thought about it and started to wonder if this code will also help him earn a certificate just like Laz. He asked if Laz could show him some other codes and how to use them to help him achieve his dreams, which all of a sudden didn't seem quite so far out to reach. Okay, sure thing. There are many other fantastic codes to figure out, but you can only discover them by studying the book regularly, Laz said, who was so excited to share more things about the book with Sam. Sam asked if he could keep the Bible, since he didn't have one at home. No worries, Laz replied. You can borrow this one and I'll ask Mom if you can keep it. I'm always happy to help. Sam was very excited. He had never owned a Bible before, and because he had never really been that interested in studying it anyway. He had only flipped through a few pages of a tattered black copy during Sunday school service at his local church he attended with his mom every Sunday, but he hadn't noticed anything special about it. However, Laz's colorful copy now seemed to jump out at him, with the pages calling out to him to be read. Laz went on to explain that people could read the Bible their whole lives without discovering the cool codes in it and not knowing the many ways that they could use them. He told him that only God could help him, and he prayed that God will show his special friends these cool codes and teach them the different ways to use them. So how do I become God's special friend? Sam asked eagerly. I really need God to show me some cool quotes in his book. Oh, that's very easy. All you need to do is just say this prayer with me, Laz replied. So we're going to say this prayer together. So he says, Dear God, thank you for your promise to us that whatever good thing we ask in your name, you will give to us. We ask that you accept Sam as your friend and be his friend forever. Amen. Right, guys, we've come to the end of today's episode, and we'll continue again next time. Don't forget, if you don't have a copy of your book, go to amazon.co.uk, go grab one, and you have it on Kindle as well, so you can also have a Kindle. Be excited, be nice if you can. Also open the book and we all read together. Till we meet again next time, it's bye from me. Bye.